Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining me. My name is Mark Werchnig, and today we're going to be talking about advanced booking techniques and also some modifications of what you can do within Vax Vacation Access. So let's go ahead and get started with some of the advanced booking techniques. So we are on our FunJet Vacations main page, and we have our booking tool right on the left-hand side over here. So you're probably pretty familiar with that. What we're going to focus on is below right here where it says advanced search and multiple destinations. So let's go to our advanced search screen. It's going to look like your normal booking tool. You have your package types. For purposes, we're going to use flight and hotel. You have your departure city and destination, dates, number of rooms. So again, up to 4 rooms and 8 travelers on one reservation. The big thing about your advanced search screen is you have these options down here of flight, where you can actually pre-select information if you choose to. Hotel, where you can filter to a specific hotel right from the get-go if you choose to. But those are the main 2 things probably within this screen. So I'm just going to put in some origins and destinations over here. So where are you guys from? Well, let's do Baltimore, and let's go out to sunny Jamaica. Let's put some dates further out down the road. So we're entering our information like you normally would to make a normal reservation. There are going to be times your customers are going to say, hey, I need flights for 7 nights, but I only need a hotel for, let's say, 4 or 3 nights. Because maybe they have family in the destination. Maybe they have a free hotel night stay that they won. So we're going to look at how to offset your air and hotel. So your airfare dates are going to be one length, and your hotel length is going to be a shorter length. Also, within this advanced search tool, we're not really going to touch base on it, but you have this option right here for shop by schedule. So normally when you do a search, it goes by price point. So what that does is Vax pulls least expensive classes of service. So classes of service are how you identify different price points essentially with airlines. There are times where you may be on an airline's website and you don't see those flights specifically in Vax. If you click on shop by schedule, you're going to get a more expanded flight schedule because it's shopping by the actual schedule for the airlines and not just by price point. Within the shop by schedule tool, you also have the option to search for specific classes of service. And the main reason why you would do that is probably for price matching. So why don't we'll just go into that screen too. So we'll just kind of get 2 birds with 1 stone on it. I leave all my filters blank. So we have our hotel option down here as well. I leave that blank as well, just because if you do a search and that hotel's not available, you're not even going to get to your next availability screen to choose any hotels because you're telling Vax to look for just that specific hotel. So it'll give you an error. So use your filters within the actual availability screen when you can select your hotels. So down here we have our calendar. This is where you're going to be able to offset your dates. So let's say they only need the first 3 nights. Okay, we're going to keep our date of the 7th. Just click on the calendar and move your return date. And now we can go ahead and hit search. And whenever you're in the advanced booking screen, like this screen, or also the multi-stop, it does take a little bit longer to do a search because Vax is pulling a lot more components. So here we go. This screen will actually have you select your flights first. So notice it's a little bit different than your normal air and hotel reservation that you probably went over with Clint. You have your outbound flights on your left-hand side, your return flights on the right-hand side. Well, this one specifically, we have this Red Sea, so we have our charter or exclusive nonstop vacation flights. So those are beneficial to you because of the commission. So what you can do is to filter the Shop by Schedule screen, if you click on carrier name, it'll go alphabetically. If you see the arrow pointing up, that'll be A to Z. If you double click it, it'll be Z to A. You can click on departs. Arrow pointing up is earliest to latest departure. If you click it again, it'll be latest to earliest. Same thing with arrives. Earliest arrival to latest arrival. You can also click on stops and layovers to filter to your nonstop flights. So you have the option to choose best price. I'm going to use this Spirit flight right here just because we're going to have class as a service we can look at. You have the option for best price right here. Or if you click on the plus sign next to the view class, it'll tell you what classes of service are available. So right here, we only have 4 seats in Y class available. So not many seats left available on that plane. So maybe you want to move down to this American flight. Let's see what they have. Click on the plus sign. Okay, so they got a little bit more. And I like this option because it gives a couple more rows that we can actually look at. How it reads is top to bottom, left to right. So C is going to be your most expensive class of service. Down to T is in Tango, that's going to be your least expensive. So top to bottom, left to right, like a book. And now from here, you can select your classes of service if you want to. So let's say we're looking at K as in King. Just select the class of service that you need for your outbound, and then go to your return flight. So let's do this 1051. Let's do K again. So now from here, you can price your selected flights or you can clear them to basically start over. Let's go ahead and hit price. All right, so glad this happened because we actually offer a bulk rate available. So if there is a bulk rate, so a bulk rate is a contracted air rate that we have with the airline. You're going to have some benefits to it, such as you're going to actually receive a higher commission on a bulk airfare than you are with a published airfare. And you're going to have lower deposit rules and cancellation rules with the airline compared to a published fare. So it's all based off a price point, though. So in this case, it is less expensive than the published fare. So let's go ahead and hit select. And from here, it'll take you to this next screen. So now we're going to be able to select our hotel and change our hotel if we choose to. I just wanted to show you how it looks when you offset your air and hotel date. So we have our outbound flight on the 7th of July, returning on the 14th. And now we have our check-in date and check-out date, the 7th of July through the 10th. So it's nothing too difficult, but let's say you forget to do that on your main screen. That's not a problem. You can do it within this search page too here. So if you forget to actually offset your hotel dates from your initial search page, click on hotels. And when we scroll down, everyone should be familiar with our hotel filters on the left-hand side. But if you keep going, you're going to have additional search items. Down here is your calendar where you can offset those dates again. And all you would do is click on the calendar, change it to the dates, hit search. Once you hit search, it's going to re-pull the availability for those new dates just on the hotel portion, leaving the air dates the same. So you will get this time from time to time with the customers on offsetting those air and hotel dates. Are you guys okay with that one?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, I'm trying to find myself on mute while you're talking.
Nope, that's perfectly fine. All right, so now we're going to get into a little bit more difficult of things. So let's talk about multi-stop. Multi-stop is 2 or more destinations, and it can be overwhelming because you can be doing 3, 4, 5, 6 different destinations. And if you look at it as basically as an overall of 6 destinations, it's a lot to process because you're going to be like, okay, I have 6 destinations. What do I all need? So I like to break it down for people on the easiest way to build their multi-stop itinerary. So we're going to go down below our Book Now area under where it says multiple destinations. You have your destination and region. So you have Hawaii. You also have the option for Hawaii with optional inter-island airfare. So you don't need the flights from the continental U.S. over the water. We have Asia, Costa Rica, Europe, Panama, South Pacific. So let's look at a Hawaiian reservation. Hawaii is pretty popular. Beautiful destination if you guys have never been out there. You're going to put your outbound city. So let's say they're leaving from Dallas-Fort Worth. Under destination 1, you're going to change the date to what you need. So let's change that further out. Let's go the 1st of July. You're going to put your city. If you don't know your airport codes for Hawaii, just start typing Hawaii, and it'll pull them up for you. Now you select which one you want. Let's say we want to go to Honolulu first, and then maybe over to Maui. So now we're going to select the number of nights we want in destination 1. Let's do 4 nights. From here is the components that you need. So because we chose air and hotel, you're not able to remove your airfare flights from the continental U.S. over to the Hawaiian Islands. You can, however, remove your hotel by unchecking the box, or your car rental by unchecking the box. Then you have your additional options down here if you're choosing to filter for your hotel. So you set up your first destination. And now you're going to go to destination 2. So let's look at the easy way how to do that. So let's go over to Maui, airport code OGG, and let's do 5 nights. So you figured out where you're going to go. Now let's figure out what you're going to need. So we're in destination 1, and we got to get to destination 2. How are we going to do that? Do we need a flight over there? Yes or no? If yes, keep it selected. If no, deselect it. In this case, I need the flight because we're not going to be able to drive. All right, so we figured out how to get from destination 1 to destination 2. Are we going to need a hotel? Yes or no? Choose the option that's needed. I'm going to keep it on here. Do they need the rental car? Yes or no? I'm going to remove the rental car. So now you're able to add additional destinations. So you can add additional destination here for after the fact, for after this destination 2, or if you want, you can add before, in case you forgot a destination. Let's click on Add Additional Destination. So now from here, we're in destination 2 in Maui. So now maybe they need to go to a different island. So let's go over to Kauai. So from here, we figured out we're going from destination 2 to 3. How are we going to get there? Do we need a flight? Yes or no? Okay, we're going to keep that selected. All right, so we're in Destination 3 now. Now what do we need? Do we need the hotel? Do they need a rental car? So you're just going to select the components that you want. Another really cool thing about the multi-stop function within VAX is you have the opportunity to change your return city. This is something we call an open jaw. So your return flight down here, all you do, remove your original city. Now you can fly back to wherever you want to go. So maybe they need to go back to O'Hare, Chicago O'Hare. Put in your new city. You have your flight options down here if you choose. Now let's hit search. And again, it takes a little bit longer for this to pull up. All right, don't fall asleep on me, Vax. It's thinking. There it goes. All right. So again, the booking flow is it goes a lot smoother, I think, because you're choosing your flights and then your hotel. So we're going to select our outbound flights. You're going to select the flight that you want. Let's go ahead and hit select. Now we're going to select the flight from Destination 1 to Destination 2. So from Honolulu over to Maui. You're going to go ahead and hit select on the flight that you choose. I'm just selecting any flight. Now it's going to pull up from Destination 2 to Destination 3. You're going to select your flight, and now it'll be your return flight. Alright, so now our return flight pulls up, and notice here, we're going now from Kauai through Los Angeles back to Chicago O'Hare. And it's a next day arrival flight. So keep an eye out for that. If you ever see one of the flight times in red for a layover, that means next day arrival. You're going to get that a lot when you go out to Europe, out to Asia, out to Hawaii. So let's go ahead and hit select. And now from here, you're going to go into each destination and select your hotel component and your features if you choose. So you're going to do that for Destination 1. You're going to do that for Destination 2. And then do it for Destination number 3. So that's going to be the easiest way on how to create your multi-stop reservation. Just think of it as going from one destination to the other. So don't think of the actual entire booking until you're actually basically all set ready to book. Just think of it going from point A to point B, or Destination 1 to Destination 2. It'll make things a lot easier for you. Because I remember when I first started, they trained us on everything at once, and it was confusing. It was a little overwhelming. So if you just break it down, it's a little bit simpler. Are you guys comfortable with that?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Do you guys do cruises at all?
Yes, we all do.
All right. Well, did you know you can actually get everything outside of the cruise package-wise with FunJet Vacations? We offer something called a pre- and post-cruise booking. While we don't do the actual cruises, people are always going to need the flights to get to the port. They may do a pre-night stay and a post-night stay. You're going to be able to offer that for your customers via FunJet. Offer that additional benefit of the Travel Protection Plus so they cancel for any reason. We all know cruises don't always go. So it's better to have that peace of mind having that travel protection. And we're going to do that within our multi-stop function as well. So let me go back to our main page. Go back to multiple destinations. And when you see how it works, it's going to be kind of an aha moment when you think about it. So let's go Baltimore, and let's do a Caribbean cruise. Let's select dates in like June. So let's do a pre-night stay. So they're leaving from the Port of Miami. I believe that's the name of it. And they want a pre-night stay prior to when they hop on the cruise. Okay, so let's select our destination. So let's do Miami. And from here, you're going to select the number of nights you want. You don't have to do just a one-night pre-night stay. Maybe they're doing a 3-night little vacation prior to their cruise. Select the number of nights that you want. You're going to keep your hotel here. And more than likely, if it's a one-night pre-night stay, you're not going to need a rental car. So remove it. Then we have Destination 2. Destination 2 is going to be their cruise. So let's say they're doing a Caribbean cruise. So I'm just going to put in Punta Cana for an airport code. You can put in Miami again. It doesn't really matter where you put in. So let's do a 10-night cruise. Select the number of nights for the nights of their cruise. So 10. And what you're going to do is deselect all your components. So they don't need a flight because they're on a boat. They don't need a hotel because they have their cabin on the boat. They don't need a rental car because there's no racetrack around the boat. So you're just removing all the components and you're leaving space for 10 nights within Vax. And now for their post-night stay, you're just going to add a third destination. So if they're returning back to Miami, you're going to put Miami back here if they want a post-night stay. Maybe they're returning back to Galveston, Texas. You would put Galveston here. And then the number of nights that they need. 1 night. They don't need a flight because they're getting dropped off at the port. They're going to need the hotel. If they want a rental car, they can have it. But I'm going to remove it. If they're changing to a different city, go ahead and change it down here. And hit search. So let's wait for that to pop up. I'm just waiting on it. Any day now. There we go. I'm not going to actually select the components. I just kind of want to show you what it'll look like. So you select your flights as you normally would. You're going to select your hotel component in Destination 1. Just notice how Destination 2 is blank. That's their cruise portion. It's blank. You don't have anything selected. So all it's doing is extending your reservation those 10 nights so you can get to your post night. And then you would just select your hotel in Destination 3 for their post night. Again, it doesn't have to be 1 night. It can be 3 nights, 4 nights, 5 nights. Maybe they're taking a little vacation after the fact. However many nights that they want. Do you guys think you're comfortable with that?
Yes, it looks great.
All right. So
I gotta tell you, doing those pre and post cruise days are kind of painful sometimes.
Well, I can imagine. I can really imagine, but it just makes things easier because you don't have to do a lot of things separate now.
Yeah.
Where you're going to be able to get your airfare, get those pre and post nights all with one supplier. So really, you're only going to be working with 2 suppliers, and that may be 3 or 4, depending on what it is. If you're doing them separately.
Did you say that you have all the inventory that the airlines do? It's just that you have to search on it by schedule?
Yes, we should be getting everything that the airlines put in to sell to the customers. Okay. There are some times where they may have like a premium economy class that they don't offer. They don't give it to us to sell. Delta is one of them that allows it, but some of them don't allow those like in between cabins. But the majority of them do. I mean, we offer basic economy, we offer first class, business class, Delta Comfort Plus. So that shop by schedule option is going to be a lot easier for you if you're looking for more inventory.
And I've seen Frontier, I've seen Spirit, you know, your Barton Airlines. Do you have Alaska Air in there also?
We offer Alaska Airlines as well.
Good. Okay.
Yeah. Alaska's big on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're actually a good one to use. So now let's talk about maybe some of the modifications that you can do with Invax. Have you guys ever made any types of modifications yet?
I know that I have over the years, but I've never felt comfortable booking it.
Okay.
I've always just kind of gone in and taken a look at what could possibly be, and then I get someone on the phone to actually make the modification.
Well, let's play around with the reservation and make some changes. So we're going to go to Retrieve Reservations. You have the option to retrieve your reservation number here, but you also have your reservation search here if you forget anything. So if you don't remember the customer's reservation number, because maybe your penmanship is as bad as mine, you can put in their first and last name and pull it up. You can search by booking dates. I can pull up all reservations I made starting on Monday. I can look at departure dates. If there's a airline involved, I can look at origin, destination, promotion code. You'll learn a lot more about promotion codes too, especially with our Groups Your Way program, because it's just basically you're booking a reservation with Invax, and it's a code that is attached to it with some sort of discount, and depending on the property, you may get comps and incentives from that hotel, but you can search by that promo code just by entering it here. If you have administrative access, you can search by every specific agent, whether your booking is active or canceled. So just remember, you have all these other reservation searches here. So I created a reservation before we started today. So let me enter it. And I created a land-only reservation, but the things that we're going to be doing, you're going to be able to do for land-only and also our exclusive nonstop vacation flights, with some of the changes a little bit further down the road. So let's look at the basic modifications. We can lump all these kind of into one because we have to go into the same screen either way. So let's look at adding travel protection. Let's look at maybe adding or removing your agency fee after you've made a reservation. Changing your room category. Changing hotels. Maybe they have that Travel Protection Plus and they see that their land-only package is now a lower rate. I'll show you how to identify that within the system and how to reselect the hotel to get that lower rate. So for this, we're going to focus down below under your itinerary tools. And we're going to look at modifications. and change component. So let's click on change component and wait for it to pull up. So from here, we're going to be able to change what we want within the reservation. So let's click on hotels. Now from here, you can obviously select a different hotel by hitting select. Let me find Breathless real quick. There we go. So if I'm at Breathless now and maybe I want to go to this hotel above, just hit select. You're changing your hotel. If you want to change your room category, just expand your room categories and upgrade to the room category that you want by hitting select. So now here we have our new room category. Let's look at how to identify for a lower price. So let's get back to Breathless. Let me get to my existing room category. So let's say your customers say, hey, I saw my hotel at a lower rate. Okay. So above your pricing right here, right now it says current. If it says current, that means there's no change. If it's less expensive, where I've highlighted, it'll show a minus amount. Kind of how it shows up here under the Allure Junior Suite King Ocean View. It says minus 704.52. So if the room category was lower, it would show that here. And then we would hit select, because you're going to be rebooking that existing room category for that lower rate. If it's more expensive, it'll show a plus sign, like it does right here. This one's $1,060.06 more for a swim up. So just look above the total price right here, and you'll be able to see if it's more or less, and then just hit select for the change that you want to do. So we changed our hotel. Yeah.
Sorry, are there penalties, or is the penalty built into that, or do penalties kick in, I guess, after a certain date?
It all depends on the hotel.
Okay.
So a lot of times, if you're real close to a hotel, yeah, you're possibly gonna have some fees. If you have the Travel Protection Plus, there's no brand fee associated with that. But if you're doing it in the system, it's not going to automatically add fees to it. And to know if the hotel's under any penalty, you'll be able to see that under your hotel advisories. All right, so let's say we changed our hotel, or you did the best price guarantee, or you changed room categories. Perfect. That's one of the modifications you can do on this screen. You can add an agency fee by going under your booking administration and adding a fee if you choose to. Probably already went over this by hitting set commission. If you want to remove that fee, put in 0.00, hit set commission, and it removes it. So we're playing around in this screen, and we're still not making any changes. And we'll show you how you would actually have to finalize those changes. Let's say we want to add travel protection to this reservation. We can go under features. And now you can use your filter to find your travel protection, but it's always going to be the first one. Did you know with any of our brands, you do not have to select the travel protection for the entire party? So in this case, if only one passenger wanted the travel protection, we can do that. Not many people knew that's a possibility. It's pretty simple. So let's go ahead and add the travel protection for one individual. So we're in our travel protection. If you hit add to cart currently, it automatically does it for the 2 people. You have this drop down right here. You're going to select it for the number of passengers that you want. Now we're going to add that to our cart. So notice right up here, it's for 1 passenger. So you are able to add travel protection to a FunJet reservation 7 days after you made your deposit, or at 45 days when final is due, depending on whichever comes first. So kind of want to throw out some examples for that. This reservation is 120 days out. So for this instance, you would have 7 days from when you posted deposit. Let's say we are 50 days out. Final payment is due at 45 days prior, so you would have 5 days to add that travel protection. So whichever one comes first. Either that 7 days or final payment. Whichever option comes first, you can do. And it's all under this modification screen. So now we made all the changes that we need to do with our reservation. We have to go to the checkout page. So we are at our checkout page. And now we can start working our way down to finalize the changes. Anytime you have a land-only reservation that has transfers, it'll ask for flight information. If you have it, great, put it in here. If not, click on right here. So let's say it's American 101. No, put in the time. And then it'll go through. So any changes you do, once you add that flight information, it'll pop up, but just click on you don't have the flight information, because otherwise you're just going to keep resending it. So it's not necessary every single time. So now we're going to scroll down. So here's our hotel advisories of the cancellation fees of the hotel. This is the hotel. Scroll down a little bit more. So because we chose travel protection only for one individual, you have to select who it's for. So you're not going to be able to make any changes without selecting who it is. So during the initial booking process, you can do it as well. You just have to enter the names in before you select it, because it's going to need to know who it's for. Do the drop down, select who you want it for. During your first call with Clint, did you guys go over special service requests?
Such as, can you give an example?
Hotel requests, like maybe you have multiple reservations and they want to be close to each other, like close to...
No, we didn't go over that.
Okay. So the thing about special service requests, it's always best to do it at time of booking. Just because I don't want to get too deep into this, but a lot of the hotels we use are on a direct booking link. So that means once the hotel is booked, that link closes down, so those requests don't go over, so you will not see an area to add those requests. And I'll show you that in a second. So because we changed our room category, it's technically rebooking the hotel, so we have that option. So under your hotel request, you can make your bedding requests if you choose to, room requests, special occasion maybe. You can add any remarks that you want. Maybe you have another reservation traveling with them. You can put close to, let's come up with a real original name, Bob Smith. So now when we make these changes, or you make your reservation, that will go over to the hotel, and the hotel's going to know, okay, this reservation wants to be close to this reservation. You can also do that with transfers as well. You might get times where you book that upgraded private transportation for customers. And because that private transfer can hold 7, 13 passengers on there, you may have other reservations that are traveling together, and they can all use that transfer. And that will also be under your add-on requests, under transfers or transportation to and from your hotel. And all you would have to do to cross-reference those is just literally put down reservation and then what the reservation number is, and just say using transfer. That way, the ground representative will know, hey, we have another reservation that's using the same transfer. Make sure we get them on that.
So you're saying make sure you book it on one reservation, and then for the others tagging along, make sure you cancel the transfers on those, right?
Yep, you got it. So we selected the travel protection who we want it for. Now let's go ahead and make these changes. So at the bottom, we haven't made any changes yet. So in order to make changes, once you click on the complete itinerary change button, that's when the changes process through. If you did not want to make any changes, just go back to the FunJet Vacations main page, go back to the top and click on Retrieve Reservation. You're not making any changes as long as you don't hit that complete itinerary change. So another one thing I kind of wanted to point out with special service requests is adding flight information after the reservation's been booked. It's a pretty simple one. We're going to focus under comments and preferences because that's where our requests are. You see where it says flight information. Here's where you add your flight information. And it tells you what it is. 2-character carrier code followed by the flight number. So if it's Southwest, that's WN. If it's flight 809, now you're going to put in the time. And hit submit.
That's the time that the flight lands at the destination?
Correct. They're going to need to... Well, there's two things you can do. You can put it under your special service requests for your transfers for the return and just put in return transfer or return flight XYZ whatever time. But when they're in destination, they have to meet up with the representative anyhow to schedule their return transfer. So the incoming flight is the most important.
Okay. Can I add to that?
Yeah.
I've had, I don't know if FunJet does it, but I know another tour operator on this site, on that, does it. When you enter the arrival, it registers, and then if you go back to that same page and enter the departure information, that registers too, and then it shows up.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, in the travel voucher.
Yeah, so it does. So basically every time you add flight information here, it will go on top of the other one. So it does recognize if you change the date of it, though. So that's how you can do that. You can do that as well. But to avoid any confusion, I think it's always best to do arrival flight here, then your return flight here. So that's just my preference. Everyone has their own preference. So then once you hit submit, you'll be able to see it in the notes of the reservation. Did I hit submit on this one? Yes, I did. So notice under our special service request, we don't have hotel requests. So that's kind of what I was referring to with hotels that are on a link to book. They don't show those request options even to enter after booking. If you ever get that situation, give us a call. We'll reach out to the hotel for you. If you don't remember if you added flight information, you can look under internal comments. So internal comments is a screen for you to put in your own notes. you can put in what date you made the reservation. So made it on 2/26, took deposit of $500. And once you hit submit, it goes within the booking system. Your customers never see this. So if you don't want post-it notes everywhere, you don't want pieces of paper laying around on your desk, you can always use the internal booking comment system. So if you click on your internal comments, you'll be able to see them. So notice here there's a bunch of different things. There's a general comment here saying, made res on 2/26, deposit of $500. We have our feature comment right here, reservation XYZ using transfer. We have our flight information here. We have hotel comments in here. So you can see if you've made any hotel comments or any other special service requests. And you'll be able to identify it by feature comments, hotel comment. So if you don't see that in here, now you can add your flight information in. So those are the basic modifications you can do. Let's talk about some of the more advanced modifications. So let's look at a name correction or a name change. You can do that within VAX for land-only reservations and our charter reservations. And it would be under modifications, change PAX info. So notice here, it's grayed out. I can't change anything. You're going to actually have to select which traveler it's for, and now you can make the update. So maybe Christine got married and changed her last name to, I don't know, Sampson. And now when we hit change, you will see it updated here. So now we can go ahead and complete our changes. A couple things I want to point out though is when you make changes to the names, or we're going to look at a couple other options too, it will make sure that you have another VAX screen open with your reservation as a point of reference, because some hotels will consider a name change a cancel rebook, and if it's not available, it'll change your hotel or your room category on you. You also want to make sure all your features and your travel protection stays on the reservation as well. So good practice, always have a second session of VAX open with that reservation up. So you make your change, everything stays the same. We're still in the same room category. We still have our transfers, our travel protection for the one individual. Now you go to your bottom of your screen, complete itinerary change. Oh, well, look at that. Like I was saying, if you have transfers, it's going to ask you for this. Since we already put it in, I'm going to click I do not have it at this time. Now, when you complete your itinerary change, it will process the change. So again, name changes, name corrections, land-only reservations, or charter/exclusive nonstop flight reservation. So out of Baltimore, that would be the Spirit flights with the Red Sea. And it is done right here. Changed over to Sampson. Now maybe let's say Christine wants to cancel. Well, we don't have any money on here, so we can do it, but instead of rebooking a reservation, just do it in the system. Go down to your modifications, drop PAX. Select the passenger you want to cancel off by clicking remove passenger, hit change. So you are able to do this as well if money is on the reservation, but what it's doing is it's rebooking the hotel and everything like that. So again, only land-only reservations, and you want to make sure that room's still available to rebook. And same thing with flights, making sure flights are still available as well. All right, so Christine's off so far. Again, transfers on here, so I'm just going to select I don't have the flight information. We still got our same room category, transfers, marks the one with the travel protection, complete our itinerary change. And it looks like we got an error message. Cannot exceed reservation size. What do you mean? We have one person on here. Let's see what the issue is. Let's remove it and add it back on. Right, let's hit checkout and try this again. All right, clicking on the I don't have the flight information. Going down to the bottom. Fingers crossed. All right, so it looks like we're having an issue with that one, but that's how you would make the change. I can remove it and I could probably get that to go. Let's remove it and see if that's an option. And because we have no money on this reservation, we're really able to just play around with this. All right, now it looks like it's going. There we go. So we removed Christine on the third try. But that's not overly difficult. We were able to figure out possibly what the issue was. We got it taken care of. The last modification I want to go over is you are able to change your reservation dates as well within VAX, as long as one of the dates overlap. Right now, we are working on a way to where you can change your dates. So we're in June. If they want to change it to August, you can do it in VAX eventually. We are working on a way for that. But right now, it's not available. We don't know a time frame when we're going to have that up and running. And to change dates, we're going to go down to modifications, change res date. And now you can select the dates that you want. So maybe they want to extend the date. Select your calendar, change your return date, hit search. And again, because we're changing or adding on the night, it is repricing for the new dates. So you want to make sure your room category is still available by using another back screen. So if I did that, I would have that up here. And I would just go back and forth to reference it. And now from here, we would hit checkout. All right, so we're at our checkout screen. We would tell the customer the new pricing. If they didn't want it, click on Retrieve Reservations, or click on the FunJet sign. It will get you back out. If you have your flight information, again, you can put it in there if you want. Go down to the bottom. I'm going to decline the travel protection because it wasn't on there, so I'm going to keep it off. Complete our itinerary change. And once it refreshes, our itinerary will be changed. There it is. 25th through the 1st of July now. So those are the 3 more difficult modifications that you can do in VAX. You just gotta be aware of any changes if those components aren't available. So again, make sure to just have another VAX session open for a reference point. So that's the modifications that you're able to do. Does anybody have any questions on those?
Not on those, but you know what's becoming more and more popular, it seems, is adjoining rooms for my clients.
Okay.
Adjoining rooms. And is that something that's just put in as a special request?
Yes. So,
and like you said, it has to be done sooner than later.
It's always best sooner than later, yes. I know some hotels will guarantee adjoining rooms for a fee. I don't know which ones do. And unfortunately, our profiles don't give us that information because it's whatever the hotel gives us for the profiles. But if you know a specific hotel, or maybe you're researching and you called a hotel and you know what happens, reach out to us. We'll see if we can get it done ahead of time. Like, for instance, I know Barcelo, like the Barcelo Maya Palace complex in Cancun, they allow it. It's $75 per room per night. So if you have 2 rooms, that's $150 per night for the guaranteed connecting rooms or adjoining rooms.
Wow.
Okay. So it is kind of expensive if you want it guaranteed. Hotels do a pretty good job of honoring those requests as long as they have that space available at when they're assigning their rooms.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, you would do that right under the special service request. So you're correct with that.
Well, that was it for me. Thank you.
Oh, that was an easy one. Kelly, did you have any questions? Are you okay?
No, I don't have any questions at this time. Thank you.
All right. So, pretty simple. Like, go in there, make a reservation for October or November out to like Cancun or Jamaica or something. Play around with it. Do it when you have some free time or if you're just bored or whatever. Just get comfortable with the changes that you can make. It's really what it is.
Yeah, that was good. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Really like the flight segment.
Yeah, I mean it's something not many people know that's in there. If you don't add flight information, it's not going to be the end of the world. We'll reach out to you probably around 7 days prior to departure and say, hey, we need the flight information so we can let the transfer people know. So, I mean, it's not the end of the world if you don't add it.
Well, I mean, being able to add the flight after you book the land portion.
So that will be tomorrow.
Right.
Well,
I heard you say that.
Yeah, so your next training with Anthony for groups, the groups dashboard actually has that option already. So whenever you schedule for that, he'll give you a live demonstration of that. But you can do it within the system too by making a land-only reservation. It'll be live tomorrow. You can play around with it. And I'm going to send you over our kind of enhancements video. So adding air to land only, that multi-origin, people coming from different cities sharing the same room. I'll give you those links.
Okay.
So
and then being able to do shorter hotel night stays around longer flight time frame. That's really good.
Yeah, you get a lot of people that do that nowadays, especially domestically.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to stay with their family for the whole stay. I don't blame them. I wouldn't want to. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, there's just a lot of things in VAX you can do, and it's all, you're going to be able to see it all under our education page, too. So I'm going to send you that education self-help library, and I'm sure Clint pointed that out for you. Great resource for you to fall back on. That's where I'm going to pull the links for the multiple origin information and the add air to hotel for you as well. So it's all in there for you. But
thank you so much.
Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll wrap up this video. I'm not going to get it out tonight because it takes about an hour and a half. And
yeah, no problem.
So I'll get that over for you tomorrow. And Anthony will go on top of the email and schedule your groups training. So he's going to go over the different types of groups. So we have traditional contracted groups and also a flexible group. And he'll give you the benefits of them. And he'll talk about our technology for our contracted groups with our group dashboard. So his will be about 40 minutes long.
Okay.
So he'll go on top of the email that I send over to you tomorrow with all the links and video and everything.
Okay. It doesn't look like anyone else joined besides the two Kellys. And I'm assuming if they had additional questions, they would chime in.
Yep, I don't have any chats or anything on here.
Okay.
But yeah, you have my contact information too. If you have questions, reach out.
You sure do.
Yeah, reach out. I'm happy to help.
Okay, thank you so much.
And
we will give you back your evening.
I'm going to go eat some dinner.
That email from you sometime tomorrow. No rush.
It sounds good, Crystal. You guys have a great night. Thanks for joining me. And again, please feel free and reach out if you have any questions.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, everybody. You have a great evening.
Take care. You too.
You too.